Luka, Ray, Joy. Here it comes! Is that too much?
What's up, fruity bitches? Undoubtedly, you've all heard about that Oklahoma college student who was handed a big fat 0 on one of their essay assignments. I'm conservative, Catholic, and of course argumentative. So, at first glance, it might seem that I would agree with this essay. I've heard a lot of people talking about this, and I thought it'd be interesting to get the perspective of Willow because she went through some psychology courses in college, and so she knows a bit more about this kind of thing. Plus, she told me she has seen nothing on the story yet, so she's flying in blind, perfectly unbiased. A junior at the University of Oklahoma was given a standard writing assignment in a psychology course. Students were enrolled in the course on human development. They were assigned to read a peer-reviewed research article. The article examined how young adolescents experience gender typicality, traditional gender norms, how this affects their social relationships, and how both relate to mental health outcomes. The assignment, write a 650-word reaction essay. The prompt asked students to produce a thoughtful response to the research, not a simple summary, not a free-form opinion piece. The assignment did not require students to agree with the article, but they were expected to engage with it academically, meaning their response needed to be referencing things like study concepts, methods, conclusions. Keep it academic, right? The essay was graded on a 25-point scale. Clear connection to the assigned reading, 10 points. Thoughtful reaction and analysis, 10 points. Clarity and quality of writing, 5 points. Here is her article.
Wait, we're gonna read the whole article?
Yeah, we absolutely read the whole thing, but I won't have you listen to me stumble through all of my words and just post it on screen. Basically, the article said God created man and woman differently, and that's why they're different. And I hope that people learn to accept the fact that they're different and they are what they are.
Clear connection to the assigned article. Do you feel it tied in to the article? Out of 10, how would you grade it?
She wrote about the article. She argued with the article. I'm gonna give it an 8, but saying that gives me an ulcer.
Okay. Thoughtful reaction and analysis. Did the student go beyond stating an opinion and actually analyze or reflect the article's findings from a developmental psychological perspective? 0 out of 10. Clarity and quality of writing. Was the essay coherent, organized, clear written, appropriate for college-level psychology courses? And I have to add something, which I don't feel is me being biased. The rule for this was 650 words, and it was 630.
I think that was like a 3 or 4 out of 10. It was very simple writing, very simple words. They didn't use a single psychology term. This is developmental psychology. I took that class. Listen, if I was a teacher, F. Just F. Go take your Bible class over there. This is psychology. We're talking about why people are the way they are, why these things affect people, how they affect them. Use a single psychology term. Like, that's not a psychology paper. It's actually upsetting.
So I would like to give my my account here. Clear connection to the assigned article. I would say the reference to the article is like at 10%. The freeform thought of things that came into my brain because of the article was 90%. So was it connected to the article? Yeah. Did they do a clear connection that was like well done?
Or point
No.
by point.
Yeah, or anything. So I'm going to say it was connected. So out of 10, I'd give it a 5. It was connected, but it wasn't connected well. Thoughtful reaction / analysis. I think she had her thoughts. It was a reaction. I will give it 2 out of 10.
For those of you that don't know, I minored in psychology. It's not that much, but like you're supposed to write research papers. It's not about your opinion.
Clarity and quality of writing. I'm giving it a 0. Okay, she started off with, I don't have a problem with people bullying people based on their gender, and then ended with, I don't like that people bully each other on their gender.
Yeah, that's true.
She didn't have the right number of words. The only source she talked about was the Bible, and she didn't even give like specific parts of the Bible.
I know, when you're writing a research paper or like a paper for psychology, they're very serious about annotation.
Yeah.
And like the research part of psychology was like the hardest part.
Yeah, so
She didn't even reference the article. She didn't even have a quote in there.
Yeah, like not even a quote. She said articles like these. I don't even think she specifically talked about this one a
I don't
lot.
think she read it. I think she read the title.
I think there's a decent chance of that. She starts claiming that it is a religious freedom issue, okay? And TPUSA is now involved in the controversy. Charlie Kirk's organization, now that he's gone, they are supporting people like this.
That Turning Point is supporting this person?
Yeah.
This person specifically?
So the chapter for TPUSA for the University of Oklahoma, where they're from, publicized the essay and the instructor's feedback on social media. On the post, TPUSA expressed strong support for the author, criticizing the instructor's decision and characterizing the failing grade as unfair. Now,
It's a psychology class. It's not a, like, write whatever you want class. It's psychology.
well, here's another piece of the puzzle. Why TPUSA, why the person wrote, they wrote, the professor's trans. So they probably wrote this as just to spit on the professor. Also, remember, they called it satanic and demonic. If you're going to say God said it, at least say where he said it. He told me in a dream. Initially, I was like, oh, great. Here's someone trampling on freedom of speech. And then I started digging into it. And I just was getting more and more frustrated that, TPUSA got behind this, that this woman was so confident in her decision. I'm a little frustrated that the professor gave her a 0, I guess.
I would not have given her 0, but I wouldn't have given her much higher of a grade. This is...
Yeah, I 0, I kind of think
Is
of
this a freshman psychology?
junior year.
You said that, didn't you? Junior year? That person shouldn't be graduating.
No, I don't think so.
That's not a good paper. I've written better papers in junior high.
Yeah, I kind of feel like 0 should be reserved for people who just don't turn anything in. For me personally,
I agree with that.
like you just did not do anything remotely close to the assignment. This person had thoughts, they put them on paper.
I would at least read the title of the article.
I would argue they deserve at least 1 out of 25. But to just fail them.
It's out of 25. Yeah, 1 out of 25, maybe a 2.
Maybe a 2. Yeah, some words were related to the words that were in the other article.
Yeah, they very clearly read the title.
They did. They read the
turned
title.
the paper in.
That turning the paper in is a big deal. You can read it and not turn it in and still get a 0.
Yes, they didn't have a reference page. Yes, they didn't quote the article or even the Bible that they were referencing.
No, they said Genesis and they didn't say chapters, verses, nothing. You can cherry pick the evidence you want to make any point you want.
Exactly.
How strong is your point? How ironclad is your position? That's debatable. But this person didn't even go the extra mile of attempting a legitimate argument. It was, here's my feelings. And the professor went, that's not an argument. And then said, you hurt my feelings.
Yes. Oh, dude, I can't be too mad at a 0.
Right.
I think about
Do you know that the teacher got suspended and is now being investigated? Welcome to Hell World.
It takes one teacher reading that paper to know what happened here. Like, it's not a good paper. It's just not good.
So did the professor give feedback? Yes, the instructor gave written feedback. This does not answer the question of the assignment. This contradicts itself at times. This heavily uses personal ideology over empirical evidence in a scientific class.
That's exactly what I said.
Some of this is offensive. So the 0 paired with some of this is offensive, 2 together is rubbing people the wrong way. But the other reasons to me are a good enough reason to give them at least a failing grade.
Yes, and all of those are very calm considering what was written in that paper. Like, those are very chill notes.
When it comes to science and stuff, I would tell my wife, I would tell my friends that I was offended. I don't think I would write, this is offensive on anything. Because even in college, when I found things the professor said as offensive, I would write extensively using multiple sources as to why they were wrong, not saying you hurt my feelings and that was bad.
That's true. That's not an appropriate criticism to have on the paper.
It's an emotion. It's a human reaction. It's an understandable reaction. I'm not hating on this person. I'm just saying
those are very calm given the paper. But yeah, you are right. It's not really an appropriate criticism to have on a scientific paper.
When grading, I would personally do my absolute best to be like robot mode. So I guess closing statements here so we don't talk about this forever. This is not a clear-cut circumstance that highlights the importance of freedom of speech or the abuse of freedom of speech. This is a professor using their own discretion to give a harsh grade that I personally disagree with the severity of it, but I would not ask for this professor to be removed or anything. I would just be like, oh, that seems kind of harsh, and then move on.
My conclusion is that I need to go to the other room and change my pants because I shit them. Thank you.
We may be twisted, won't deny. Gotta laugh or we'll all cry. We don't need no PC snitches. We just wanna hang with our fruity bitches.